tell us the story behind the picture in the park.
Well, when my parents got out of the prison, and this was probably the first week that we were together as a family, my mother said, we should do something special. We haven't done anything for a long time. And they asked me what I wanted. And I said I wanted to go to a certain park where I used to go as a little boy. This was outside of the town, outside of Belgrade. And
what's the name of the park?
It's Topciderski Park. Topciders, it really is a word which talks about armory, gun armory. In other words, this was the place where the artillery park. This is where the artillery, what people would practice to shoot cannons, in olden times, in 1800s. And of course, then that became a park for children to play, and a beautiful building, old-fashioned building, which was so uniquely, for me, curious and amazed how it was there, and the stories that my father would tell me who lived there. It was Obrenović, the prince, used to live there. This was his konak, which is really more like an inn. In other words, this was a place where they ate and slept and entertained and met people. And I always had visions of what it would look like and what kind of people would show up there and see it. And so I would always loved it. And beautiful trees and beautiful, peaceful place. You would never know there was a communist state and that terrible things were happening. And so I went there and I played, and my parents sat and talked. And then I went to my father and I said, "Father, draw me that building." And he said, "Son, I can't do it. I don't have anything." So he started roaming through his pockets and he found the stub of a pencil, which he had to sharpen because it was broken. And then he said, "I don't have anything to draw on." And then so he rummaged through his pockets again, and he said, "The only thing I have is this toilet paper." And then he thought him was, "Well, okay, I'll draw it on the toilet paper." So he drew the picture on the toilet paper, and I just loved it. And my mother took it, and she carried it through at least 3 years before we came to Canada and preserved it for me. And I still have it today. And I always remember how we sat there at this park and we were dreaming and thinking of how we're going to escape again. They decided at this point they're going to try to escape. And this is when my mother said, "Okay, you made the first try and we got caught. Now this time you're going to do what I say and we'll do it my way." And you would have to imagine my diminutive mother, 5'4", telling my father what's going to happen in a Serbian culture where men governed and dictated everything. And he said, "Okay, dear, yes, we'll do it your way."
And you did, right?
And they did. She told them what her plan was and why, and he said, "Yeah, that might work. Let's try it." And it worked.
And so the plan was your parents were going to be fake divorced?
Fake divorce. She can regain her maiden name. And then on the basis of Schmidt, which is a German name, she would get a passport to go to Germany.
And why was she able to do that again?
Well, because there was Yugoslavia had a peace treaty drawn between Yugoslavia and Germany, who were at war before. And one of the conditions of the war is that Germans would pay for reparations, but they said, "We are not going to pay any reparations unless you let all the Germans, all the prisoners, anybody who had German origin or inclination to leave the country, you would have to let them go." And because there was a lot of money involved, they said, yeah, let him have it. So they got all kinds of reparations for all the things that were damaged and destroyed. And Germany paid all of that. And but on the other hand, a lot of people left communist country on this basis. And
your mother took you and
took me, and because of the maiden name was Schmidt, we could come out of Yugoslavia.
And then the underground got your dad, and we already got that story.
Yes, and following that, the underground man delivered my father safely to us. And when we first met him, this was in Graz. He came on a bus. When he came off the bus, we just burst into tears, all of us. We were crying as if just crying from joy that something finally happened. And all the people who saw it, they asked us, why are you crying? And I don't remember whether it was either my mother or my father. Probably my mother, because her German was better. She explained that we escaped from Yugoslavia and we finally reunited as a family.
So the underground man brought your father right to where you were?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.